When we think about prayer, we usually picture someone with their hands folded neatly, eyes closed, whispering petitions to God. Sometimes, though, prayer isn't so graceful. In Genesis 16, we encounter an absolute crazy story. It is of Sarah ordering her slave, Hagar the Egyptian, to not only sleep with her husband Abraham, but to get pregnant, then give birth to a child that Sarah would then take as her own. Hagar does as she's ordered, going to Abraham and getting pregnant. Afterwards, Sarah is so full of contempt, she treats Hagar even worse than before. If that is even possible. Hagar finally has enough and runs away. We find Hagar in the desert, alone and impoverished, crying her eyes out at the situation. She is an outcast in the society of her day, a runaway slave, an unmarried pregnant woman. She is in despair, and rightly so. It is in that moment, the dark night of the soul, where an angel of the Lord appears to comfort Hagar. And the angel also said, "The Lord has heard your cry of distress." Notice it does not say, "The Lord has listened to your prayer." Up until this point, there is no suggestion that Hagar prayed in our traditional sense. We have no indication Hagar got on her knees, folded her hands, and asked God for help. Instead, we read of a woman in distress, running away from a horrible situation, now alone in the desert. But God has listened to her affliction. God has heard her suffering, the exhausted sighs, the unanswered questions. Prayer often takes the form most natural and authentic to the seeker. In Hagar's case, through her tears. The desire to pray is expressed in an infinite variety of forms across the spectrum of human experience. We usually think of prayer as verbal, but it may be expressed by the heart as well, sometimes even better than the mouth's words. There are many times in life where our circumstances overwhelm us. We are overcome by challenges of life and simply cannot pray all nice and neat. God hears tears just as well as our voices. God hears not only prayer, but also the desire to pray. God hears tears as well as prayers.